Walter, how's it going, man? How you doing? Luvion, Justin, drummer, how's it going, guys? Jesus, alright. Well, I don't know if the rotator is better than the Ankh. I don't know how that translates. Is that cute? Nagito, how's it going, guys? Is this new stuff at the bottom? What do you mean? Squid, how's it going, man? Oh wait, I was on volume 3 before, now I'm 12 now. What? Quantum, how are you? What? Welcome, by the way, Wrongs, how's it going? But the sphere of silence is terrifying. Dude, I'm telling you, that sphere of silence is kinda nutseats. Why the f is this not updated? This is so annoying. Why is the chat not updating here? Liola, how's it going? What the fuck is this new thing on screen? What the fuck? Did I become a femboy? No? What? You guys like the... What? At least most of you like the demon girl. You don't like this one? You only like this one? What is this? What? Milos, how's it going, man? Red coming... What? What did I do to Red? What? Explain. I need to know. I have to get to him first. I need to take him out. I binge read 150 what manhwa, Pushkar? Didn't expect you to be early today. Hell yeah. I was honestly on the fence on whether I was gonna stream at all, if I'm honest, but then I was like, yeah, fuck it, Weeble. Covered up really quickly, because I look at medical return. What the fuck is this? Oh, dude, I swear to God, if Adam shows up here in stream today and this motherfucker tells me he is still not gone to the hospital, I'm banning him. I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. I will do it. Merlin, how's it going, man? Spoiling word. Hope. Click off for the next 2 minutes, bro. What are you doing to me? Oh. Okay, so I'm thinking A-L B-E-R. Let me cook. So E-L-A Elate. Oh, I'm goated. I'm so good. You should read it if you like medical and regression. I like regression stuff. I don't like medical. I'm good. What is that? Just a fucking depressed ass med student on 4th year? Like, no, if I could go back to 1st year, I wouldn't choose this. Lord, let me go back. Good afternoon, Mr. Fool. Blow. As in, then what? The thing I talked about in general chat is that if you want to see what now? What were you? What? What's that? Zaza, how's it going? Yeah, Luvion, it's so... Basak Frank, how's it going? Bite? Blow? How? How would this be one? How? Okay. Metal rock. Funk. Othmani, how's it going? A great time to start streaming, at least I can attend. Yeah, so Mr. Fool, for the next little bit, this is gonna be like roughly the time I stream. It might be like up or down an hour. No, like probably up an hour, not down, by the way. Metal, rock, funk, pop. What? Okay. Funk, metal, pop, emo. Let's go! Stranger, how's it going, man? It's going good now that you're streaming. Aww. Okay. Low rock bite. This sucks. It blows. It stinks. It rules. Slay? Rule? I'm curious, if you had to choose a path to go down IRL, I'm torn between lawyer and spectator. If, like, as in, like a full pathway I could progress down? Rules? Shit. Bite? Like, I have to bite the bullet? What pathway would I go? What path? At least demigod, let's say. I definitely wouldn't pick spectator, because then the problem is you'd have to be a spectator, which means your whole life, which means your entire life you're just kind of cooked. But Sean, how's it going, man? Which means your entire life you're just kind of cooked, like you're not even the protagonist of your life, which sucks. So, honestly, I would probably go with like an arbiter or something. Mr. Fool, we're gonna try for the Volume 6 ending stream to be next weekend. Next Saturday or Sunday or something, I don't know. Because I want to do it on the weekend, because I like to do volume ending streams on the weekend, just that way it's better. Apothecary is decent for money, I guess, but I feel like at any pathway you could make money becomes no object. Like, if it's just a money thing, go be an apprentice, and then you can break into bank so quickly. Cage. Right. Slay. It slays. It rules. It. Milos, when did you become like this, bro? What did Ramiro do to you? Amnesiac, how's it going, man? You rock, you... Girl, you ate. Oh my god! Ramiro got him, bro. Ramiro... This is what Ramiro was, doing to, If someone says I'm gonna, if, spoilers for the movie Batman Under the Red Hood. So if you have not seen it, or you do, or you were intending to watch it, click off for the next 2 minutes. If someone says I'm still spoiling, you can suck my dick, okay? You can fuck right off. This is what Ramiro's doing to Milos to get him to believe in the Lord. This can't be a spoiler, guys. The comic book came out in the 60s. This can't. He's beating his ass to get him to believe in the Lord. My God. Okay. Cage Glass Eno Reich. What is this? Damn, didn't even give me a chance to go. So. Well, that's not. So. This is impossible. I can't talk about anything. This is so cooked. You know what? I shouldn't even be on the stream. Ideally, in your guys' world, I would just like not even be here. I would just leave open the Lord of the Mysteries book. It would just be scrolling automatically. And then like when the chapter is finished, it would just automatically flip to the new chapter and just start scrolling. Like, I wouldn't even fucking be here. What is the fucking point? Oh my god. Cage Glass Eno Reich. Does anyone know what this would be? Age Ass Eno Eich? I don't know. Check general chat for silly. Okay, give me that. I don't know what this is. Contemporary composer? What? I don't know. Check general happening. Simple Loanese to English translator? What? Excuse me? This is kind of cool. Hold on. Let me cook. Who made this? A through Z, capital dot, through dot. What do numbers look like? Bro, 1 and 4 being like the same thing flipped over is kind of crazy. Wait, you made this that cute? That's so cool, man. Holy shit, that's awesome, dude. Loanese is just fancy English. Yeah, exactly. Ooh. Oh, fair. That looks like a whole different language. You can kind of make out hello. Everything else is just nothingness. That's cool. Oh, I didn't even see it. Good point. Is that cute? This is fucking awesome, dude. Holy shit. How you doing? Hello, Dr. Z. No, this is a English to loan translator that Zakute made. Really cool. It's in the Discord if anyone wants to fiddle around with it. This is really cool. That's awesome, Zakute. Holy fuck. Yeah, Romero, you are off. You no longer have any chains to worry about. So, like, if she spoils, just immediately can ban her. Okay, it's fine. It's done. It is all over now. Okay, this. Oh, I actually know where this is. Fuck. Oh my god. It's like Iraq, Iran, or Afghanistan. I can't remember. There used to be like this giant statue of the Buddha here, and then the government decided to just fucking blow it up. I actually know this. Because they were like, it's a false idol. Like, and like so many countries around the world were like, please just let us buy it. They were like, because it was like 2,000 years old, and they were like, no, we blow this shit up. Afghanistan? It might be. I don't know. It's one of those. Okay, we'll go near Kabul, I guess. We'll trust. It's gonna be like, this is good quality. I'm thinking like 2014. I don't know. It was Afghanistan 2012. Let's go. Thank you, Zaza. Thank you, Pushkar. Thank you, Amnesiac. Damn. Yes. Okay, the Bamiyan. Bamiyan? The two monumental Buddha statues. Yeah, like imagine, dude, just there being like Buddha statues carved into a fucking mountain, thousands of years old, and you go, nah, that's fucking crazy. Shit. Furnitures. This is all in English, so it's either the Americas or it's the UK. Lee, how's it going, man? Shanks? Wait, what? What? Oh, Shank. I'll go with the UK because this shit. They all look kind of angry, and that kind of feels like the UK. Like no one has been happy in the UK. Like no, like you're. That's not. Fuck! It was Pennsylvania. Fuck. Wukong made Buddha suffer the same treatment. What did Wukong do to Buddha? Didn't Buddha just like put Wukong in his place almost right away? I can make it so it includes Ancient Hermes and Hermes Calculator as well. I'll have to custom make the font for both. Low and easy one was already made by someone. Oh, that's cool. Oh. Dude, I slept for like basically 11 hours and I'm still sleepy. What the fuck? Yesterday was a long day, man. Holy shit. I was driving for like 5 hours yesterday. So, oh, wait. Maiti. Did you see Sign of Affection? No. I watched a little bit, Pushkar. I think I watched the first 2 episodes or something. It was good. I will watch more, but I did not finish it. What the fuck? What is this? I don't know where this is. Alright. It's older. I'm thinking. I'll dig it somewhere around here. This is gonna be really wrong, by the way. Watch this. What the fuck do you mean spoiling? You guys are actually rage baiting the shit out of me. We're done. We're reading. We are fucking reading. We're done. We start off on 12:15. Oh, okay, so it's 12:15. Or wait. Do we? Yes. Oh, yes, the celestial worthy of heaven and earth. Oh, that's where we left off. Okay, perfect. Okay. So my headcanon, Romero, is the celestial worthy of heaven and earth is like the honorific name or the title or whatever of the original creator. Because the original creator, because Klein used that same wording when he arrived here to go into the gray fog, and it was said that the Sephiroth came from the original creator, singular, sorry. So the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing should be the original creator, because chanting his honorific name got Klein to the Sephiroth castle. Let me cook. I don't have anything else other than that. So I don't know whether that means like the original creator is like in a state of like almost death. But I also don't know if the original creator is trying to like resurrect Klein's body or something. Because like that was something, oh, Jesus Christ, that was something Amon was really afraid of. Because he was like, oh, I do want the Sephiroth castle, but I want you to take the burden. So I will steal your fate. Okay. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. Can you say the major also read total 1224? Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, fine. Okay. Also read till 12. No, wait. Damn, 5 hours? Where you go? No, Lee, I drove 3 hours one way and then 2 hours at night back. So it was a long fucking drive, man. Just tired. The major theories I have at the moment. Evernight is a transmigrator. I don't even know if I call that a theory anymore. It's fucking confirmed. Anyone who says it's not, fuck right off, okay? I know, I don't even know if transmigrator still works, because they didn't migrate to another world, but whatever. Evernight. Super God, but I don't even think that's a theory anymore, because like, I feel like that's basically confirmed, also. Bro, I don't have any theories. I'm chilling. You know, it's just everything's confirmed. I don't have any theories. I'm just goated and loaded, really. When he heard the voices deep in the grayish-white mist, Klein trembled slightly. This feeling quickly protruded through every part of his body, causing tiny goosebumps to protrude on his skin. Oh, the Amon toilet theory. Yes. This was the second time he heard the name celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing in the real world. And the first time it was said by Amon and after he stole his thoughts. In fact, Amon didn't know the exact meaning behind it, nor did he truly grasp the incantation. Therefore, in essence, this was his first time. Dude, even this is so silly. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for a blessing. Earth. Like, even this has even this is pointing subtly to the fact that hey, this is Earth. At the time, it felt like, oh, of course it would have Earth because Klein found that incantation on Earth. But now it's like, oh no. Okay, this is so cute. Therefore, in essence, this was the first time. At the borders of the legendary Western continent outside his hometown that had vanished, this was the first time that he had heard the incantation that caused him to transmigrate in the first place. He heard one of the most important secrets at the bottom of his heart, and heard the oriental honorific name that pointed to an unknown existence. He stood there as his mind went nearly blank, his ears echoed with occasional sounds of chanting and shouting. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. When the voices became softer and softer until they disappeared, Klein finally recovered his train of thought. When the voice, as the fake god that had a lot of guilty matters, his first reaction was, by changing the name, the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing, to the king of yellow and black who wields good luck, will I suffer divine punishment? Back when he had set up the 3-stanza honorific name of the fool, the first stanza described his experience and state. Back then, he had thought that it was a transmigration, and he was afraid of exposing the problem. He changed the fool from an alternate world to a fool that doesn't belong to this era, but in the end, it pointed to his true nature. The second stanza was to bind the grey fog to him, making the direction clearer. And in order to completely limit and not use any ambiguity, Klein directly translated the last line of incantation, which was the celestial of heaven and earth for the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. Yes, I believe yellow and black refers to heaven and earth. He originally thought that it was nothing, but later he suspected that his transmigration was the result of the former owner of the strange door of light in Sephira Castle. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing, or rather, it was a certain existence hiding their true identity. What do you mean, earth proves that earth means dust or dirt and all that? What? Is that just... I did wake up not too long ago, but I'm having a hard time understanding that. Yeah, coincidentally amnesiac. I thought you guys already told me there are no coincidences. Of course, it was possible that the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing was the actual incantation before creating another identity that suited the present world. This was because he had never heard the honorific name of the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing elsewhere in this world. Therefore, although there was suspicion and fear present, he didn't pay too close attention to it. However, at that moment, the words celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing, bro, if he keeps fucking repeating the same line, I'm gonna start losing my shit, were like salvos that were blasting at his heart, bombarding his mind, causing the concern and fear that he had accumulated in his subconscious to surge out. After regaining his composure, he began to force himself to use rationality to think. Is this chanting hidden in the grey fog, or is it from the vanished western continent? I had already thought that this fog's color and state was close to the one below Sephira Castle. Its power comes from history. One has to know the correct powers over time to open it. Queen of Calamity, Kohinam, once said that the western continent would definitely reappear at the dawn of the apocalypse. In other words, only by pushing time towards the temporal node would the greyish-white fog come alive. Only then would it be possible to use the corresponding incantation to open it. Is the celestial word... So wait, does Klein have to use that same incantation he used the first time? Or like the same incantation he uses to go above the gray fog to pierce through the barrier? But if that's the case, there's probably like a corresponding set of actions he has to do too, because like to go to the Sephira Castle he has to turn counterclockwise 4 times. So like maybe it's something else here, I don't know. The person who made the Western continent vanish, seal it, or to create a protective quarantine is the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing the existence suspected to be the previous owner of Sephira Castle. Oh, could it be the previous, the fool? The half-fool of the indigenous family? I don't know. According to all the clues, Sephira Castle and the rest were left behind by the original creator. They were created by the various parts of his body, or something that he had personally created. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing is equivalent to the former owner of Sephira Castle, and also equivalent to the original creator. Let me cook. It's a question mark, it's not a period at the end, but all the same. However, Sephira Castle only existed after the original creator split. It's so funny, in my mind, when Klein says after the original creator split, it doesn't mean like after he fucking died and became like 9 separate things. In my mind, it means like he said like, peace out, and he like left. Furthermore, the chances of the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing only pointing to Sephira Castle and don't affect places like the Chaos Sea. Also, the disappearance of the Western continent is definitely something from before the Second Epoch, as ancient gods, not even Sonia Theron, was able to return to his hometown. In other words, in the chaotic and crazy First Epoch, or maybe even before, the original creator, the oldest one, had split into objects like Chaos Sea and Sephira Castle. More things happened before the ancient gods were born. These matters caused the Western continent to vanish and the former owner of Sephira Castle to disappear. Bro, this is such a fucking lore-heavy chapter. Why did you guys have me start off with this one? I'm sleepy. The prophecy of the ancient sun god, the City of Silver's creator, is also intriguing. It says that someone will walk out of this fog, so he sent people to stay in the Moon City and guard this place. Strictly, Captain Panda, long time no see, man. Holy shit, how you doing? Oh my god, it's been so long. I'm trying Amnesiac. Okay, I just need to. Okay, let me cook. Okay. Okay. However, I left the Western continent to enter the Sephira Castle a long time ago before the ancient sun god's prediction. The year I left the grayish-white fog was 1349. After going around in circles, I came here again and met with the people from Moon City. The ancient sun god's prophecy really has come true, just that the process is a little twisted. Oh, you think you are the chosen one? I mean, in fairness, Klein has done enough to probably give himself that kind of aura, but like, that's kind of still egotistical. After going around in circles, I came here again and met with the people from nope, already read that. As he pondered, his mood gradually improved. This was because the situation at the scene and his spiritual intuition told him that there were still civilizations in the Western continent isolated by the grey fog. This method of making the Western continent vanish reminds me of the ritual for Miracle Invoker, as well as using the power of space and time. They are mainly from the Apprentice and Marauder pathway, so the previous owner of Sephira Castle and the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing corresponds to these 3 neighboring pathways. He reined in his thoughts and said to Nim, I heard the voice clearly. What are they saying? Nim said. Everyone had similar reactions. Their bodies began to tremble. Klein took a deep breath and said, they are praying to my lord. Bro, I swear to God, even if I was them, I would be like, this motherfucker lying, bro. No. He either didn't hear it or he's making up some bullshit. Actually fucking lying. No shot. This was definitely not a lie. After all, as the fool had already gained initial control of Sephira Castle, the last sentence of the honorific name was King of Yellow and Black who wields good luck. which was equivalent to the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. No, of course, yeah, it totally works. Everyone fell silent, looking at Klein, their eyes filled with fear and respect. Together with the miracles Klein had displayed, they gradually viewed Mr. Fool as their savior. Klein surveyed the area and said, "Retreat to at least 100 meters. "Yes, Your Excellency," Nem said. Godzilla, how's it going, man? After the Moon City Beyonders had retreated to a sufficient distance, Klein reached into the void with his right hand and dragged out another projection of himself as his actual body disappeared. What the fuck? Right on the heels of that, the historical void projection of Klein walked to the front of the grey fog, extended his right hand and pressed down. After staring at it, Klein said, this in Chinese, "The celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing." As the voice echoed, the grey fog didn't react at all. He waited for nearly a minute, took a deep breath and muttered, "The immortal Lord of heaven and earth for blessing, the sky Lord of heaven and earth for blessing, the exalted Thirch of heaven and earth for blessing, the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing." The complete incantation of the luck enhancement ritual. As the last word was said, Klein's right hand pressing on the barrier felt an obvious tremble. The grey fog began to shake as though a boulder had been thrown into a lake. The ripples quickly spread out, overlapping with each other as they formed a door in front of him. Are you not entertained? I fucking called it! I fucking called it! Okay, in fairness, I thought there was gonna be some dance needed. I don't know, maybe he needs to boogie or something, I don't know. But, I mean, in essence, are you not entertained? That's all I'm saying, okay? A bolt of lightning streaked across the sky, illuminating the scene. Not far away, the pupils of Moon City Beyonders widened as they were unable to shift their eyes. Amongst them, the ones who arrived later felt their heart waver after watching such a scene. They found it impossible. To them, this was undoubtedly a miracle. Klein held his breath as he waited for the door to take shape. However, the ripples finally calmed down. They were only a step away from success. After a moment of silence, Klein repeated the incantation again. However, even if the ripples of the grey fog didn't appear, they weren't truly able to outline the door. For a moment, he wanted to attempt it with a complete ritual. Otherwise, he would place... In other words, he would place 4 portions of food and recite the incantation while taking 4 steps counterclockwise. He was amused by this idea, because by doing so, he would enter Sephira Castle without opening the door here. After exhaling, Klein took out a gold coin from the void and used divination to confirm the effects. It really isn't a great time because the apocalypse hasn't dawned on us? When a bolt of lightning tore through the sky and illuminated his face, he turned around and walked past the high priest and said it hasn't reached the correct time to open it. There's more than a decade of waiting left. Sag. After waiting for any response from the likes of Nim, Adal, and the rest, Klein pointed to the darkness and said, "I will be meditating here for some time. If you want to experience the radiance of the Lord and listen to his teachings, you can come at any time, whenever the lightning frequency is high. I'll do a single purification and treatment session every day, at a time when the lightning is most frequent." At noon, basically, but noon is like, we get more lightning, so there's a little bit more light. This is so, oh man, this fucking world is so fucked. Nim secretly heaved a sigh of relief and said, "I will pass on your words to everyone." Richie boy, how's it going, man? Long time no see. Patience will ultimately pay off. McSeely, how's it going? Oh yeah, I know a little bit. I know a little bit of Kami getting Okay. City of Silver. At the top of the spire in the chief's room, with white hair and an old scar on his face, Colin looked out the window at the deep darkness. It was only when the silver-white light burst out from afar, bringing a few seconds of light, that he retracted his gaze and nodded. Chermont has also succeeded in advancing. His gaze then landed on the youth standing in front of him. Derek, do you know why I kept delaying the subsequent plans and didn't implement them after the first exploration of the Giant King's court, despite already becoming a Sequence 3? Your Excellency, on the one hand, you wish to see if any other members, if there are any other paths you can take to the seaside. On the other hand, you were waiting for the other elders of the council to also advance to Sequence 3. And now, both matters were complete. Nearly 5 months ago, an expedition team of the City of Silver discovered a hidden path. From there, they circled the mountain where the Giant King's court was and arrived at the sea. But the sea was illusory, with no way to pass through it. Now, another demigod of the 6-member council, Wade Chermont, had successfully advanced to Sequence 3 Silver Knight. Colin sighed and said, "Very good. You have a good understanding of the situation. If I had a choice, I truly do not wish to bring you to the Giant King's court again and attempt to open the palace where the Dark Angel lies." At this moment, Colin paused. "I do not know what dangers such an expedition will bring. I can only make ample preparations ahead of time. Now, Chermont has successfully advanced. Even if an accident happens later and we are unable to return, he and the other elders will be able to support the City of Silver. Your growth is even better than expected. If not for the fact that the Giant King's court matter originated because of you, I would want to keep you in the City of Silver and be an understudy elder. Even if you wish to keep me here, I would still apply to go," Derek said. This was a glimmer of hope that he had seen, the opportunity in his heart that could save his city. He was willing to sacrifice everything for it. Man, that's so sweet, but like, this is what, a 15-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid? Like, he's a fucking child. Colin gave a rare smile. "You are still too young. After you experience many things like me, you will understand that compared to drawing your sword and sacrificing your blood, enduring humiliation, helplessness, and persisting is much more difficult. If you don't believe me, you can ask Chermont later. Ask him if he is willing to lead an expedition team to the Giant King's court or stay in the City of Silver." Derek fell into a silence. Colin continued, "Have you completely digested the Priest of Light potion?" "I digested it last week," Derek said. "Have you gathered all the supplementary ingredients?" "I've gathered them all. I'm just short of preparing the ritual." His ritual needed him to extract the strongest emotions that he was unwilling to abandon before injecting them to himself and consuming the potion. After a few gatherings with the Tarot Club, as well as Miss Justice's private attempts, they had come up with a well-formulated plan. Bro, is almost everyone's a... Half the Tarot Club is like a fucking demigod at this point, no? Hermit, Audrey, now the little son. Bro, even the little son is mogging Alder? Oh my god, Alder is so cooked. The little son is the little son looks up to Derek as like, the little son looks up to Alder like a fucking teacher, and he's like, "Teacher, you are a mere human. Oof. Get shit on." He was to complete it by relying on a Sequence 4 manipulator's control of the Psyche domain and Mr. Fool's Angel's Embrace. Colin didn't rush him, and as he said, "Do not be anxious. The next exploration of the court will still take some time." "Until I become an Unshadowed?" Derek said. "Yes. I'm also waiting for Lovia to become a Black Knight. Her ingredients and rituals have been prepared." Black Knight? Did I know this name? Dude, I feel like I still don't know. I feel like I know everything except for... I feel like I know everything except for the, like the Shepherd pathway. I feel like no, actually, I'm only missing 2 now, so that's not that bad. I'm only missing 1 and 2 of the secret suppliant pathway. I'm missing the top 4 of the planter, top 4 of savant, 3 of that, 2 top 4 of assassin, top 4 of reader. Upon hearing this, Derek immediately felt pressured. At the capital of the Rorstad Archipelago, City of Generosity, Bayam, at the top of the bell tower, the Cardinal of the Church of Storm, the high-ranking deacon of the mandated Punishers, Sea King Jan Kopman, stood behind a railing, looking out ahead. In my territory at sea, even a war bishop must bow his head, the demigod said. He had a head of dark blue hair and a deep pair of blue eyes that was as thick as a worm. Alger, who was standing beside the Sea King, didn't show any signs of frustration. Oh, Alder's about to become a demigod too, hell yeah. Aside from most of the Beyonders of the Sailor pathway being bad-tempered, they often trembled in submission when facing a higher sequence of the same pathway, a characteristic of a tyrant. After muttering to himself, Sea King Jan Kopman looked at Alger, who was leading a pirate fleet, and said, "Your performance was remarkable. The Cardinals have passed your review and decided that I will preside over your advancement ritual." Oh, let's go, dude. Oh my god. All 4 of the... all 3 of the first joining members are going to be demigods now. It's... thing, right? It was... Audrey, Alger, and then Derek third. Oh my god, they're all going to be demigods. 4's is number 4, I think? And she must... I'm sure she's almost completed her Traveler potion now. Hopefully. And she should have the ingredients, because her teacher said he'd give that to her. After receiving the item by Queen of Calamity Kohinam, Alger found an opportunity to report the matter to Sea King Jan Kopman. Apart from 2 details that he modified, he gave an honest account of the exploration of the Elven ruins by the time he arrived. Firstly, he claimed that he had headed for the Elven ruins as part of him taking the initiative to ambush the Phasician troops. The second was to lessen the autonomy of subsequent actions. He only claimed that he had dreamt of a female high elf on the night of the exploration. Nothing abnormal happened after he drank a glass of wine from her, so he didn't pay too much attention. When he came to the Rorstad Archipelago and woke up, he suddenly realized that he had entered a magnificent palace at the bottom of the sea. Although many aspects of the evidence and physical evidence had indicated Alger's description was real, Jan Kopman didn't fully believe it, so he sent it to be investigated by a pontiff, Guard II. With the help of Angel's Embrace, Alger looked like he was trembling in front of the tyrant's aura. Without holding back, he explained that he had developed a certain degree of ambition after meeting the High Elf. Oh, for fuck's sake. Sorry, there's a wire that was hitting my leg. I just wanted to see what it was. Where am I? For this, he had taken the initiative to head to the Rorstad Archipelago in hopes of receiving her inheritance, but in reality, he had covered up the core secrets. He had also used the method of confessing his ambition to pass the investigation. Wait, Romero, who the fuck spoiled you? What? On COI shit? He had used the method of confessing his ambition to pass the investigation. As for the female high elf, whether it was a result of him having some elven blood that a fortuitous encounter was given to him, or if she had any hidden motives, he had claimed that he was unsure. He hoped that the pontiff would figure out that the answer to lessen his worries. That's so funny. Ramiro was so worried about spoiling me, he never considered that he too could be spoiled. What happens when the bodyguard is the one in danger? Alder displayed his fear of the unknown, making the Cardinals believe that it was the main reason why he had reported the fortuitous encounter. The proposal was designed by Alder, but with Miss Magician's suggestion, it was tweaked to be more in line with human nature. As expected, Alder didn't receive the advancement ritual. Instead, he entered an inspection period. The pontiff of the church, the grounded angel, had reinforced the seal in Alder's body, preventing the cataclysmic and terror characteristic from seeping out and affecting him. In the past half a year, Alder had led the pirate fleet that had been assigned to him. He had worked hard to harness the ships of Faceac and Fainapotter. He had even participated in sea battles, taking great risks and making numerous contributions. This fully expressed his devotion to the Lord of Storm, as well as his submission to the orders given by the church. Finally, after this Rorstead sea battle, the situation had escalated. His patience paid off as the councils of cardinals finally acknowledged him. Alder took a deep breath and said, "Holy Lord of Storm!" This agitation was half an act, while the other half came from the bottom of his heart. Ma'am Hermit had already finished digesting her mysticologist potion and was preparing to advance to Sequence 3, Clairvoyant. Although Miss Justice had yet to fully digest the manipulator potion, she had made significant progress. Furthermore, she was a complete rookie when she joined the Tarot Club and had now become a true demigod. He wasn't just a sequence higher than Alder, but a whole tier. Before long, the sun would also advance to Sequence 4 Unshadowed. The Star had also finished his digesting his Sequence 5 potion and accumulated a lot of contribution. He was just waiting for the higher-ups to give him a chance. Miss Magician wasn't far from digesting her her potion after traveling time and time again. Furthermore, her teacher had prepared the corresponding ingredients for her. There was no need to mention the world. Even if he were to suddenly inform them that he was an angel, Alder wouldn't be too surprised. Miss Judgment was currently a Sequence 5 disciplinary paladin and was digesting her potion, trying her best to keep up with everyone. Damn, everyone is either a demigod or right on the verge of it. The Moon, who didn't like to work hard, became anxious as a result and was seeking to become a sanguine earl. What is a sanguine? Sanguine. Oh, sorry, what is an earl? What is that? What does that work out to? Volume 5 review. Zaza, soon, I promise. Soon, I promise. Yeah, Khaled, I don't remember this shit. Fuck you, okay? Is it a Sequence 4? Faced with such a situation, yeah, what is a sanguine is hilarious. Yeah, my bad. So guys, what really is a Beyonder? I know we've thrown this word around a lot. I still don't fully get it. That was so stupid. Bro, I'm so cooked. Oh, Hope, don't remind me. I'm so sorry. Fuck. Faced with such a situation, as one of the most senior members of the Tarot Club, Alder didn't wish to be left behind. He desperately wished to advance to Sequence 4. So many days had gone by, yet he suppressed his anxiety and waited patiently. There were instances where he showed signs of losing control, and Miss Justice had to treat him. Finally, he had now gotten the answer he wanted. He was to now begin preparing for the ritual. Okay, the problem is that I have to do it on a MacBook, and I haven't used it in a while. Okay, it's like a huge amount of. friction that we need to get over, because like the MacBook's dead. I need to charge it and stuff, and I just forget to do that. So, but because like as soon as I turn on the laptop, I'm gonna do the GIF, and then I'm gonna start editing the Volume 5 video all at once. Okay, it's cooked. I sold the iPad, let's prefer. Scarlight, how's it going, man? How you doing? It's what I learned to edit on, okay, Justin? Don't judge me. It's just what I learned to edit on. Fuck off. Moon City. Many humans walked out of the building, which stood unusually sturdy despite having mottled surfaces. The humans looked at each other and noticed some confusion on everyone's faces. Don't we still have... let me check. We might. Holy shit, that makeup for... I just saw Easy's video. Oh god, that was... Yeah. That's something, alright. Yeah, nah, I'm good. Okay, we actually have 2 more emojis. So if you guys have one where like, hey, you guys want like XY, we have 2 more emojis we can add. Moon City. Nope, already read that. There were still 2 or 3 months before the sun's sacrifice. Why was the high priest summoning everyone? Could something have happened? The residents of Moon City were filled with anxiety, fear, and confusion as they entered the square from every street. At this moment, the high platform was empty. The person who had convened them appeared not to have arrived. The residents all whispered to each other, "Why isn't the high priest here yet? Doesn't he like to wait and not want others to wait for him? What happened?" Amidst the voices, at the top of the square, Nim leaned against the wall. His grayish-white hair flared up as a bunch of short hair grew on his face, his ribs and waist squirming. These abnormal changes would disappear and occasionally appear. It was as if he was suffering from relapse. After about a minute, he calmed down, let out a long breath, and wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. Just now, he was resisting the madness in his body. In fact, no matter which pathway it was, the higher the sequence, the greater the risk of insanity and inhuman inclinations. When this gradually would exceed one's own humanity, causing one to rely on external anchors to maintain their balance. Normally, such situations weren't obvious for a demigod. At the level of an angel, even if there were enough anchors to stabilize them, they would fall into darkness from time to time. In the negative and abnormal state, one had to endure and resist on their own. They were like sacred and solemn existences who would appear unproblematic normally. They could respond to prayers, chat normally, and even joke, but at times they would only hide in dark rooms and in shadows. They tore off the surface of their own skin, revealing the sinister side of madness. As Nim often ate monster flesh, he'd accumulated a lot of toxins, corruption, and madness, forcing him to endure such pain despite only being a sequence 4. I love how we've reached a point where only and sequence 4 can be said in the same sentence. Bro, it used to be at a time where like only a sequence 9, only a sequence 8, even a sequence 7 was like some real shit. It's like, oh, you are merely at the very beginning of being a demigod, you poor fool. Of course, those who didn't know the acting method and relied on time to advance to sequence 4 and 3 would share the same fate. After bro, how much time do you have to wait to become a fucking sequence 3? Didn't it take like fucking, didn't it take, the Captain Dunn, what was it, fucking 10 years to become a sequence 7? What? You want to do a Leodero one? Really? Do we have to? After composing himself, he turned and left the room. With the help of an illusory door, he appeared on the high platform in the middle of the square. After the discussion died down, the residents of the Moon City cast their gaze at the High Priest. Nim looked around and said the hunting team, led by Adal, met an outsider. An outsider! Everyone's eyes widened. This was the first time in 2,000 years that they had encountered an outsider. Come on. Of course, this was referring to human interaction, not monsters. We love Miss... Oh, just Jesus Christ, McSeely. You should be glad Dr. Z isn't here. He would be not happy with that message. That's true, but eating extra characteristics still slows the process even more. Yeah, dude, I'm trying to be more careful, McSeely. Dude, I'm trying to be more careful. I've been burned too many times by Luvion. Fool me once. Okay. For members, if you want to refresh, you should have access to the thing now. The new emoji. As he spoke, he nodded and said, sorry. He claims to be a missionary who's here to spread the light of a deity. He caused the grayish-white fog to undergo obvious changes. He cleansed Adal and the others of corruption and toxins accumulated within them. Also, he treated their physical mutation. As he spoke, he nodded to the side, and Adal and Jin, who were hiding in the shadows previously, walked up. Oh my, is that Adal? Jin? They really... Exclamations sounded as surprise and shock mixed together. Adal and Jin looked around and took 2 steps forward, recounting what they had encountered. The crowd could hear the tiny flame that appeared in the darkness, the cross that emitted a bright light, the cane that could hear mutations and ailments, the parting of the grey fog, as well as the appearance of the door. Some of them had already teared up, a result of extreme fatigue and repression. The tears carried a mild, salty feeling as they flowed down their face. In addition, a person who was still rational and clear-headed raised his hand and said, "Could that missionary be a special monster from within the darkness? Are they acting like this because they've already been controlled and influenced?" Nim then said, "I've checked them and have also used artifacts. I have found nothing unusual for the time being." Stranger, you don't have to. It's just 2 clicks of a button, man. I will let them remain in the Black Tower and undergo at least 15 days of quarantine. What is your favorite pathway at the moment? Favorite? I think the Hunter, dude. I find it so fucking cool. Just that ability, like at a sequence 5, Anderson was like standing on top of a spear that he generated and was just like, sending that shit off at Mach fuck to hit. Oh, that shit was so cool. After making the promise, he paused and said that missionary named Gearman Sparrow will be meditating in the vicinity of the grayish-white fog for some time. He has permitted us to experience the glory of his Lord and listen to his teachings. Every day, at the time when the frequency of lightning is the highest, he will provide cleansing. Shonen Brain? Hey, you know what? I grew up watching Naruto, okay? Sue me. Romero, it's Lord Dan, it's to you. Okay? Everyone can make their own decision and head over there if you so wish, but they have to report their decision in advance. No one is to act on their own. After they return, they will be quarantined like Adal and Jin. Everyone looked at each other, unable to make up their minds. At this moment, Russ and another member of the hunting team, who had previously missed the cleansing and treatment because of their choices, stepped forward. High Priest, I'm going. He said, I can't live like this anymore. This shit is cooked. Alright, I'll lead this team tomorrow. He had originally planned to give this team a name, but he failed to come up with a good description. In his heart, there was actually a name, but he didn't dare say it aloud. Pilgrimage. That's a good one. With Russ and company leading the way, several Moon City residents stood up, indicating they were also willing. When the frequency of lightning increased, it was the dawn of a brand new day. A group of 7 to 8 Moon City residents carried animal hide lanterns and began to traverse the darkness, heading towards the periphery of the grey fog. After the darkness and light exchanged countless times, Russ and company's eyes lit up. You know what? I feel like one more thing fucking Gehrman should do, Klein should do, is he should ask Derek to sacrifice like a couple of mushrooms, and then he can bring them in through the grey fog and just give them to these guys. Be like, hey guys, I know I cleansed you guys, but y'all are gonna be fucked up in like 10 years again if you just keep eating this dog shit. Just eat this, okay? I'll show you how it works. I'll eat one in front of you to show you everything's fine. Just go on. When the frequency of lightning increased, it was the dawn of a brand new day, and a group of 7 to 8 residents carrying lanterns began to traverse the darkness, heading for the grey fog. After a while, they saw a bonfire slowly burning, and Gehrman, who was wearing strange clothes and a strange hat, sitting beside. He held an iron-black long skewer, roasting something. There were corpses of monsters linger on the bonfire. On these corpses, there were all kinds of strange objects. Some of them were white and full, and would spew out liquid at the moment they were poked. Oh, he already has. Okay, cool. Never mind. Cuttlefish may be ahead, but I'm one step ahead still. Oof. Some were black, embedded with dark-colored lines and marbling, while others were with golden spots, while the top was the size of a palm. These items were densely packed, covering the different parts of the monster's corpse. After taking a few steps forward, Nim noticed that Gehrman was roasting one of the strange objects. Drops of oil dripped down, producing a sizzling sound. And everyone could smell the alluring fragrance. The residents of the Moon City swallowed their saliva instinctively. Every cell of their body was screaming, I want to eat it. Sitting on a rock, Klein raised his voice and said, These are called mushrooms. They're divided into different types. If you are willing, you can pick and eat them yourself, but do not touch the black ones. Furthermore, they have to be thoroughly cooked before eating, or you will encounter a terrifying curse. Nim first said, We would first like to listen to your Lord's teaching and experience his radiance. Bog, how's it going, man? With a slight nod, Klein said, You may sit down and listen. When the 8 residents sat opposite the bonfire, he said, I came from the Giant King's court. This was a term all the Moon City residents were familiar with. Their spirits instantly lifted as they cast their gaze away from the items burning and at Gehrman. Following that, Klein described the situation outside the City of Silver and the situation beyond the Cursed Lands. The residents sighed when they heard this. Sometimes they looked forward to it, but at other times they found it hard to believe. Halfway through his sentence, Klein stopped, retracted the skewer, brought it to his mouth, and bit down. The thick meat juices seeped out with a slightly scorched feeling. After spending half a year in the Forsaken Land of the Gods, he had overcome his disgust towards mushrooms. After all, Dennis was tasked by him with things to do. He couldn't meticulously prepare food all the time. He closed his eyes and continued, You can try some. Nim was still hesitant when Russ reached out his hand. As he expressed his gratitude, he got a mushroom and put it to his mouth. He ate too quickly, so much so that his mouth was scalded, but after his expression twisted, it froze. Following that, his expression slowly relaxed as he revealed an intoxicating pleasure. In the end, Russ's tears flowed out unknowingly as he said, "This is the best, superb food I've ever eaten." Even though their taste for food had changed after generations, humans couldn't adapt to toxins and madness. They still yearned for sugar and fat. At that moment, all the residents could tell that Russ was moved. Moved where? Clue. Ooh, clue. Bro, what is, Amon is probably already a god by now. 6 months? He probably got some dumbass angel to try a ritual he was unprepared for and then just stole his spot, became a god, and was like, haha, get fucked, loser. Give it a try too. Klein handed the skewer to other residents. Their throats bobbed up and down as they couldn't help but swallow another mouthful of saliva. However, they all cast their gaze at the high priest, waiting for him to nod. In his animal hide clothes, Nim took out an item. At a glance, Klein almost laughed. Klein almost imagined that he'd seen a monocle, but it was a magnifying glass with a handle. This fright made his heart skip a beat. Thankfully, he managed to control himself. Holding the metallic handle, he held a glass object in front of his eye and observed Russ for a few seconds. After a brief silence, he put down the item and nodded at the other residents. Oh, this is probably like a sequence 6 or 7 or whatever of the reader pathway, right? It was kind of like similar to the ring that Eye of Wisdom had, Isengard had. People other than Russ finally reached out their hand and grabbed a mushroom from the skewer and stuffed it in their mouth. Without caring about the scorching feeling, they swallowed the mushrooms and instinctively reached out for another one. However, all the mushrooms on the skewers had already been distributed. Nim retracted his gaze from the skewer and waited for Gehrman to continue. Klein looked around and continued. The surrounding mushrooms can be taken at any time, apart from the pure black ones. In addition, they have to be cooked fully before being eaten, or you will be cursed. The residents of the city no longer hesitated. They stood up and chose the mushroom that they longed for. With a glance, Klein continued, when the white mushrooms are cooked, they will split open and have liquid flow out. You need to prepare some container or drink them once that happens. Without waiting for everyone to respond, he continued that he had previously stopped mid-explanation. He went on until he explained how the voices of the Grey Fog chant Mr. Fool's honorific name. Seeing that Nim was so absorbed by his tales, Klein deliberated and said, "There are still many ways to make the greyish-white fog react, but they're all related to my lord." This was a reasonable guess, because not only was there one hanging person, but there wasn't only one way to enter the world above the Grey Fog. If Roselle had brought the mysterious silver plate that he had replicated, there was a high chance that the barrier would also produce an anomaly. Of course, the prerequisite was that the Emperor belonged to one of the 3 pathways. Seeing that there was no doubts from the others, Klein said, according to my observations, there isn't only one Beyonder pathway in Moon City. Yes, when we were selected to come to Moon City, the Oracle had intentionally ensured that we had a comprehensive record of Beyonder powers. Unfortunately, over the years and disasters, many of the formulas and ingredients of pathways have been lost. Nim said. "Which pathway are you from?" Klein asked. "I am a Night Watcher." Sequence 4, Night Watcher of the Evernight pathway. Did anything unusual happen near this Grey Fog? Yes, Nim said. What kind of abnormality? A small hill suddenly disappeared, leaving only a deep crater in the ground. There were no signs of explosion in that area, nor was there any soil scattered around. It's bizarre. Bizarre sorcerer? The plot thickens! Did you investigate further? Klein asked. Yes. An investigation team encountered a demonic wolf there. It wasn't a demonic wolf that had already rotted or mutated, but a demonic wolf from long ago. What did that wolf look like? It's the same as the demonic wolves described in ancient literature, but even bigger. Even though its 8 legs are on the ground, it's still as tall as 2 or 3 people put together. Oh? Its fur wasn't pure black, it exuded a dark and deep feeling. Its eyes were strange, the black pupils took up a larger part of the eye, and there was a tuft of short grey hair on its head. Isn't that Kotar? It's actually come to the far east of the Forsaken Land of the Gods? If the power of the Western continent's disappearance comes from Sephira Castle, it would be quite normal for it to attract mythical creatures corresponding to Miracle Invoker. It didn't attack your team? Klein asked. In his opinion, it was easy for Kotar to wipe out an investigation team. It didn't even need to pay a huge price to turn the city into his marionette kingdom, but he had apparently spared them. No, it left in a hurry, Nim said. What could frighten him so much that he fled in a hurry? He didn't even have the time to silence the people who saw him. Or rather, there's something special about the people guarding Moon City. Did it leave any tracks? No. Other than the hill turning into a deep crater, we didn't find anything else. When did this happen? 2 years, 2 months, and 10 days ago. There are too few things worth recording. It left a deep impression on me. Currently, it's September 8th, 1351. Subtracting that time, it'd be June 28th, 1349. The day that he had transmigrated and become Klein Moretti and had entered Sephira Castle. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know. It sounds like it's important. I don't know what to make of that, though. The abnormality here, the appearance of Kotar, the hasty departure of this creature, all related to me? For a moment, he couldn't find an explanation and pretended that nothing happened. He then asked, did something similar happen in the past 2,000 to 3,000 years? No. What about 280 years ago? Did something special happen? The time Roselle migrated to this world. After hesitating, Nim said, I can't tell you. We'll need to go back and check the records. Thankfully, the information and documents in the past 3 centuries hasn't been damaged. At this point, he added, my limited impression tells me that there shouldn't be anything special. Can you tell me where the crater is? By the time Nim gave an answer, the mushrooms that the City of Silver residents had grilled could be eaten. Some of them took a small bite of the white mushroom and were scalded by the milk inside, but they couldn't bear to spit it out. Some chewed repeatedly, reminiscing over the faint sweetness, and couldn't stop eating at all. Nim was taken aback by what he saw. Every one of them was showing conflicted looks of having cravings and being satisfied. High Priest, you should try some too, Russ said. After hesitating, Nim used his magnifying glass to look before stuffing a mushroom in his mouth. In the next 2 or 3 seconds, his expression changed. Remember that time Klein and a few demigods erased a mountain in Bayam? Yeah, but that was a few demigods. But now we're talking about angels, boys. Well, I guess one angel was there. Wasn't the Abomination Sua there or something? Klein, Gojo Sato? No, not even close. Is he the gifted one from the heavens? I don't think so. Although I guess, hold on. The celestial worthy of heaven and earth. If he resurrects in Klein's body or something, as Amon keeps saying, then he kind of does become blessed by the heavens. Fuck. Oh my god, they might actually be. Oh my god, Klein is actually equal to Gojo. Hold on. Yeah, but like a fallen angel, Hope. He had a taste of something similar from mutated tree roots, but it wasn't as pure. After some time, he said, Your Excellency, we would like to hear to Mr. Fool's teachings. I haven't had the time to make it up yet, damn it. But as I get closer and closer to being an angel, the matters should be prioritized. The anchors do need to be prepared. Klein recalled when he reformed the believers of the sea god. He then took out the unshadowed crucifix. Oh god, the unshadowed crucifix, and put his right thumb on the thorn. As the bronze green surface of the unshadowed crucifix peeled off, revealing a body made of pure sunlight, God said. Klein opened his mouth and said in a low voice as he raised the resplendent cross in his hand. Warm and bright light surged out like a tidal wave, filling the area. The darkness and discomfort accumulated in Nim, Russ, and the company's body began melting away. God said, First commandment, thou shalt not sacrifice unto me living human sacrifices. Second commandment, thou shalt not use my name in vain. My source, I made it the fuck up, based. When your teacher says like, for this essay you actually need to use like three primary sources, 2 websites, and like 2 articles or whatever, so you just search up articles about your thing and then just cite them at the end, but you didn't actually ever read them even. That's what's happening here. Please tell me I'm not the only one that did that. It's fine, I already graduated now. What are they gonna do? Take away my fucking diploma? In the fog sea, Klein, which hadn't been engulfed in war, the future slowly began to sail towards the Berserk Sea. Cat Leia didn't have much to do recently. All she could do was wait for the Moses ascetic order to respond to her request. She strolled to the deck and saw Frank Lee, the first mate of her ship. The second most important person of the Star Pirates was wearing light blue pants and a white shirt. He stood at the bow of the boat, looking into the distance. Cat Leia involuntarily slowed down a little as she turned to enter the cabin. "Captain," Frank said. "What are you stumped with?" Cat Leia asked. "I'm reevaluating the inventions and creations I've created over the past years." "What are your thoughts about them?" Cat Leia asked. "There are too many matters I need to reflect on. The most important thing is the thing that I've created and are still missing. The most important thing." "What is that?" Cat Leia asked. "They all lack souls." "It's a good thing that malt, grapes, and mushrooms don't have souls," Cat Leia subconsciously advised. As she then said, "This isn't something you can dabble with right now. You're only a sequence 5. "I've got it," Frank said. "What did you get?" "I understand the problem. The creations are limited by my capabilities of a druid. Captain, I do not wish to be a druid anymore. I wish to become a classical alchemist." Sequence 4 of the Planter Pathway, the starting point of Demigod. Cat Leia's expression froze. She nodded. Having a goal is a good thing, but you need to understand how difficult it is." "I understand. I will do my best," Frank said. I will help you too." Cat Leia decided to take the progress of the matter in her own hands. When the time came, even if she had progress, she could inform Frank that she tried to no avail. Frank then said, "Thank you, Captain. I'll also write to Garvin Sparrow and ask him for help. He is a great friend of mine." Oh, the world is so cooked. I might just give it to him because he's like, bro, I'm not in the world right now. What's he gonna do to me? What Frank didn't know was that the letters he had given for the past half a year had gone through a rather convoluted process. The letter went to Miss Messenger before being delivered to Fours. Fours were then transferred to Gehrman using the help of Mr. Fool. Unhinged, how's it going, man? Unhinged is 1 year younger than me, and this motherfucker dares to call me Unk. He's an Unk too, bro. Cat Leia nudged her glasses and entered her cabin. She then returned to the captain's cabin. Before she could think of what just happened, she saw a letter. Cat Leia was delighted. She opened the letter. It was from Bernadette. "If you are free anytime, you can come to La Cha Incognito." What the fuck? La Cha was a rather hidden island in Fog Sea. It hid Queen Mystic's palace, known as Emerald City. Backland, Westboro, in the Adora family villa. Oh god, oh god, he's about to become a demigod. This is so cooked. Yeah, I can't imagine being 21. Oh wait, no, 21 is actually kind of based in the US because you can now legally drink, go to Vegas, have fun. Actually, 21 in the States is actually kind of based. Cosme looked, sorry, what did Lord Nip say? Emlyn said. He only wanted me to tell you that the entire sanguine race doesn't have excess Earl characteristics. You can only wait for the present Earls to die before leaving their inheritance. Yeah, McSeely, me too, man, me too. Compared to humans, the sanguine had a long lifespan. Even without a noble title, ordinary ones could live to 300 years. Therefore, it wasn't easy for ordinary ones to advance to Baron or Viscount. I didn't call you out after these, what? They either wanted for the existing nobles to die or obtain it through external sources. Compared to the first two sequences, it was even more difficult for a Viscount to become an Earl, because being a sanguine Earl meant being a demigod, and he could easily live for more than 1,000 years. You're 20. Oh, you're 21. Okay. I just said 21 is actually kind of a based age. What? What? Those Viscount descendants had to pass generations before they could have a chance for the Earl's passing. Romero, aren't you 19 now? And also, it was precisely because of this that as long as there was a vacancy in the Earl position, it would immediately be distributed. For Baron and Viscount, not in the US, yeah, but the age is the same, bro. What do you mean? For Baron and Viscount characteristics, they existed in sanguine treasuries in the form of ingredients and artifacts. Unhinged, I promise, I have like way more hair than you, bro. You could have, I don't care, like I have like way more hair, so you know what? You can say what you want, get fucked. Scarlight, oof, oh my god, how are your knees, dude? You need a back brace? I love how I hate it so much when you guys shit on me, but immediately given the opportunity, I turn like you guys. I'm so cooked. No, hold on. The answer was within Emlyn's expectations. He looked at Baron Cosme and nodded. In other words, as long as any count passes away, it'll be my turn? No. Although you have contributed plenty, you have not reached first place on the waiting list. What's my ranking? 12th. If I obtain an Earl characteristic externally, will the race help me prepare the ritual? Of course, Cosme said. Emlyn then left the Adora villa and took a carriage back home. Ever since Faina Potter declared war on Lone, he hadn't been to the Harvest Church. He had only heard from the Star that the door had been smashed and plenty of things stolen. As for Father Utravsky, he spent half a month in a cell behind Chanis Gate. The rest of the month was spent in a room on the upper level of the cathedral, with the Archbishop of Backland next door. This was because they were worried that if Father Utravsky was to leave Chanis Gate, he would suffer irreversible damage. Under such a tense situation, the Evernite Church wished to leave some buffer time so they could use this opportunity to express their goodwill. Although Emlyn wasn't a believer in Evernite, he always somewhat detested the cathedral. He even went to St. Samuel Cathedral twice a month to visit Father Utravsky. When is Elden Ring stream coming? I don't know. Unhinged. We'll probably just do it after Lord of the Mysteries ends, man. I do want to do some gaming streams. Just have fun, just talk. Oh, good lord, my hair is so fucked. I don't know how old he actually is. Elden Ring, yeah, we could do co-op. That'd be fun. Where can I obtain an Earl characteristic? Someone thought. He had some ideas. Ma'am Hermit mentioned that the Aurora Order Saint Tenebris had graced a Shaman King. That's an Earl characteristic. But Saint Tenebris wouldn't be so easy after the previous lesson. Also, there's a chance of attracting Ouroboros. This was something everyone had discussed in the Tarot Club. The conclusion was that they had been attacking the Aurora Order for the past year, so it was best not to provoke them. Play Codenames? I do know the board game, yes. Apart from Saint Tenebris, Emma could only think of one other option, the Rose School of Thought. Be it the Life School of Thought's artificial vampire or the primordial moon worshippers that existed in the southern continent, they were not part of the Rose School of Thought. Of course, there were some people who had sought out freedom, and so they hadn't joined any organizations, but they were either not high sequences or didn't have enough information. Upon Merrick and Rose School of Thought, upon thinking of the Rose School of Thought, Emlyn instantly recalled a person, Merrick. Merrick represented the Temperance faction of the Rose School of Thought. Perhaps I can cooperate with them, Emlyn thought. A number of residents of the Moon City anxiously gathered at the entrance, casting their gaze east. They were relatives of the people who had been led by the High Priest. Finally, the flames flickered as Nim brought Russ and company closer to the city. The man walked forward and looked at his sister, and noticed traces of tears on her face. This resident, who wasn't deformed, could sense her brother's gaze. She couldn't help but scream, "God! God is here to save us!" We actually have similar hair, mine's just a little longer. Oh, okay. I mean, similar in looks, sure, maybe, but like quantity, maybe you have half. Get fucked. God. Could see the strongest soldier Red Devil in action in Elden Ring. Oh yeah, of course. We could. Oh my god, Romero, you know what we should do? Like you, me, we could play Night Rain. That's the only way to play co-op. No wait, there's a co-op mod, right? I guess we could do that too if you wanted to play original Elden Ring. I don't know. My current playthrough I'm doing is a flame magic melee. Ah, cool. If I'm completely honest, I just always use a strength build. I just take a big bonk stick and that's it. Just play Night Rain. To be honest, it's balanced around co-op. Okay, that's fine. Seamless co-op mod or Night Rain. Okay, yeah, we can do that. We can do that for sure. I can't help but think that's racially motivated, Justin. God is here to save us. The words spoken in a sob-filled voice caused all the residents who were waiting to fall into a trance. At the edge of the grey fog, a fire burned quietly. After eating another batch of mushrooms, Klein dispelled the iron-black skewer in his hand and looked up at the crater, described by Nim. He then reached out his right hand and gently pulled, dragging himself out of the historical void from 15 minutes ago. He then reached out his right hand and gently pulled. No, what? Already read this. After exchanging looks, Klein's true form rapidly vanished and entered the fog of history. He ran all the way to a time before the first epoch. His historical projection stood up and snapped his fingers repeatedly, flashing through the crimson flame as he headed for his destination. When the crater that was once a hill was almost in front of him, he stopped, cautiously extending his hand and pulling out Quanos Kilgore. He then transformed into another Gehrman. He took out a lantern from the fog of history with one hand and rubbed his temples with another as he muttered, "Why does a marionette have to change his appearance? There's no one else." God, I'm starting to have OCD. A few seconds later, the marionette's projection carried a lantern emitting a faint yellow light as he walked towards the crater. As the light flickered, Klein saw his target location and realized it wasn't too deep. The difference between the bottom and the ground wasn't more than 2 meters. Inside the crater, the soil was smooth and there were a few rocks. After observing, Klein, who had activated his spirit vision and spirit body threads, entered the crater, planning on following the pre-planned route and reassessing everything. As he walked, he frowned slightly. He realized that his thoughts had turned sluggish. It was as if he had slept too much and had just woken up, having a heavy head. A situation that a person would occasionally experience, but beyonders of other pathways may miss it, but a seer pathway would clearly sense something amiss. I know, Romero, I know. He's been there for so... Holy fuck, we're at like 50 people? What? Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. How y'all doing? If you're new here, consider joining our Discord. Link in the description. What? He's still there. How long has he been in the Discord? How long has he been in the voice chat? I mean, I can kick him out, but I mean, he's not hurting anyone, so fuck it. Thank you, Unhinged. If it were any deeper, it would be close to the effects of a marionettist controlling spirit body threads. The influence left behind by Kotar? That can't be right. Even if he didn't mean to leave it behind, it means that he showed his complete mythical creature form. That would have resulted in Moon City's investigation team breaking down and losing control. What's the purpose? After some thought, he let his main body that was hiding in the historical void take 4 steps counterclockwise and go above the grey fog. He wanted to do a divination. With the exact location and time, nymphs, a description, and a real-world survey of the area, as well as lighting up some of the historical fragments, he believed that the prerequisite for making a divination had been met. This didn't mean it was enough, but he could barely give it a try. Besides, if the hill turning into a crater incident had something to do with Sephora Castle and him, chances of a divination were pretty high. Klein then wrote 28th of June, 1349 of the 5th epoch, the anomaly that happened here. He put down the fountain pen and did a divination. With one hand holding the soil and the other holding the parchment, he fell asleep in his chair. In the hazy dream world, Klein saw the grey fog solidified. He saw the hill that was tens of meters high and the twisted vegetation around it. A few seconds later, the fog began to churn and rapidly vomited a black shadow. Okay, since you guys are telling me to lock in now, should we switch music really quick? Let me switch music really quickly, hold on. I don't think Kami's here, so I don't think... Oh, Kami is here. Put on some scary music for now, but if there's some specific music, let me know, okay? A few seconds later, the fog began to churn and rapidly vomited a black shadow. This shadow was like a huge velvet curtain, madly absorbing all light around it. Its translucency increased as it enveloped the hill. Following that, the hill vanished without a trace, leaving behind only a crater. The strange plants at the edge of the crater were suddenly covered and had black illusory spirit body threads. The plants had spirit body threads? That extended towards different parts of the curtain. This curtain became more and more transparent and illusory until it reached a point where it couldn't be seen. If not for the fact that Klein had spirit body threads vision to observe the area, Klein wouldn't have been able to discover that the curtain had covered the crater's surface. The scene flashed and the dreamscape twisted to show a new scene. Moon City's 5-man patrol team approached and discovered the crater. They stopped in their tracks and left the area. After an unknown period of time, a gigantic flame suddenly appeared in another direction. A demonic wolf covered in dark fur with 8 legs, 4 to 5 meters tall. None other than the dark demonic wolf Kotar. The demonic wolf raised his head and opened his mouth as though he was screaming, but nothing happened. In the next second, a figure appeared in front of him. It was another him. The demonic wolf's historical projection did a simple step with one of his 8 legs and arrived beside the crater. After he surveyed the area, he carefully lowered his head and picked up the completely transparent curtain that made the entire hill disappear. The curtain suddenly came alive as it rapidly contracted and spun. It wrapped around the black demonic wolf as if it was adding a black transparent piece of clothing to him. The demonic wolf trembled as it had become clothed marionette in 2 or 3 seconds. Hold on. So whatever this curtain was, like, wrapped around him. Okay. However, this was only a historical void projection. The next breath didn't happen as the main body stopped maintaining the projection. The curtain lost its support and collapsed. Kotar didn't give up. He occasionally transformed the monsters around him into marionettes or summoned historical void projections. making them go forward again, experiencing all kinds of failure. But in the end, his newest batch of marionettes managed to pick up and control the curtain. The entire process was silent, as though it was a mime act. Following that, the gigantic demonic wolf made the marionettes bring the curtain to him. At that moment, the great fog around him churned, forming a vortex comparable to a hill. The vortex emitted a silent, invisible suction force, causing the strange curtain and Kotar to be thrown towards it at the same time. Such a scene caused a substantial ripple to appear in the dreamscape. Countless points of light appeared, making it appear difficult for him to see details. When everything returned to normal, Kotar draped a transparent curtain around him and flew everything from the solidified fog. At that moment, the Moon City investigation team arrived and saw the subsidiary god leave. Kotar glanced at them, but he didn't dare stop, vanishing in the darkness. At that moment, the dream shattered and Klein woke up. It's not that there weren't any anomalies before I arrived. It's more likely it's that the guard from the Moon City didn't discover it. After all, the fog extends outwards to a degree. When that curtain that was spat out from the grey fog, what was that? It can cover a hill when it's large, transforming it into a crater, as though by magic. When it's small, it can be used as clothes by Kotar, turning him into a marionette. It's a little like a high-sequence item of the Seer pathway. Okay. It was spat out because I entered the world above the grey fog and completed the binding. It seems to be able to turn the surrounding vegetation into marionettes. There was something wrong with the food laid out in the rooms in Foggy Town back then. Spirit body threads were growing out of them, reaching towards the core of the cathedral. Once they were eaten, they would vanish, and they would end up hanging in the cathedral, becoming a marionette. In other words, once one reaches the level of Miracle Invoker or Attendant of Mysteries, they can make plants or objects with spirituality grow spirit body threads, so as to turn them into marionettes. So plants have spirituality, but so how does food? Because I remember in Foggy Town it was like a piece of bread, if you ate it you were cooked. So how does a piece of bread have like a spirituality? What? Is that curtain the characteristic of a Miracle Invoker or Attendant of Mysteries? Judging from Kotar's performance, it might be the latter. This is the reason why one Attendant of Mysteries characteristic couldn't be found. There were clues, but no one could find it. Before Sephora Castle had an owner, the Grey Fog unconsciously attracted the characteristic of the three pathways across space and time and accommodated them. That suction force is incredible. It even frightened Kotar. He didn't even stop. What was he suspecting? What was he afraid of? If he could hunt down an angel like Kotar, it would be an unparalleled harvest. Of course, Kotar, who now had the curtain, was much harder to deal with. From the timing of these events, Kotar clearly had the curtain by the time he arrived in the northern city Noise. He turned the entire city into marionettes and created a marionette city. It wasn't to settle down, nor was it to accumulate helpers. It was to prepare the ritual for Attendant of Mysteries. So if Klein can kill Kotar, he would get the 2 and 1 characteristic. And that would, as soon as... Because in my mind, he should be digesting sequence 2 fairly quickly. And once that's done, he can go to 1, and then he can be like, alright, Amon, let's play this fucking game, bro. Alright, it's the seer making it happen, not the food itself? So you're telling me the seer injects some spirituality into it and gives it some spirit body threads? Is that it? Alright, hey there. Alright. Kotar is preparing for a tentative mysteries ritual, then his whereabouts won't lack traces. He instinctively wanted to try to divine the location of the curtain by using the soil, so as to lock onto Kotar, but considering how the latter was an angel, such a method would likely alarm him. The next day, when there was high frequency, another batch of Moon City residents came to Gehrman under the leadership of a priest named Duke. They listened to his preaching and enjoyed the mushrooms and waited to be cleansed. And it specifically said gave them the ability to grow spirit body. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, fine. So Klein becomes a sequence 1. He then goes to kill. I mean, he could probably go to the. Oh my god, Hornace's mountain range, get the uniqueness and another sequence 1 characteristic probably, and then he can maybe kill Zaratul. We can do that. The next day, nope, already read that. After the residents of the city experienced a cleansing, tears streaming down their face, Klein looked around and said, "The sun god told you to guard this land and take note of anyone walking out of the fog." "Yes," Duke replied. "If you really discover someone walking out of the fog, what would you do? Recite the name of the great sun god immediately and report this matter to him." As he spoke, his tone became depressed. In the end, he was unable to formulate his words, because the sun god hadn't given any responses for 2,000 years. "Anything else?" Klein asked. This was a revelation from his spiritual intuition, and also a result of a degree of deduction. It was obvious that the ancient sun god and the City of Silver creator had considered this problem. One possibility was that the person who walked out of the grey fog would be extremely careful and cautious. After discovering the patrol team in Moon City, he would be inclined to use the Beyonder powers to affect their mind, making them forget that he had seen them or reciting the name. In such a situation, ASG must have made some arrangements. Of course, it wasn't absolute. If Amon's father could accurately predict that the person walking out of the grey fog was a rookie, there was no need to say too much. However, considering how ASG had made an error in predicting when he would come out of the grey fog, Klein was doubtful. Duke then said to welcome that person and tell him a single word. What word? "Chernobyl," Duke said in a strange tone. Klein's mind froze as he gave out a long sigh. So Klein was supposed to, in theory, walk out of here, and they were supposed to go Chernobyl. They were supposed to go, huh? What? Excuse me? Lone City, Eastchester County. The nearby villagers gathered here to pluck some strange mushrooms. According to the kingdom's law, everything that grew in the forest belonged to its owner, Miss Hall. However, with the war escalating and the demand of food increasing, it was something that needed to be considered if they wanted to survive. Furthermore, with more and more people participating, they became emboldened. They naturally formed small teams and very efficiently plucked the mushrooms covered in golden stars or marbling. They were divided into 2 parts, and a small portion was reserved for consumption. Most of them were prepared to be sold to grain merchants waiting outside the forest to exchange for gold pounds. By the way, this is like a small headcanon of mine. I think part of the reason Beyonders are relatively rare in the outside world, like outside the City of Silver, is that like all the monsters in the City of Silver are taking up like fucking 60% of the characteristics. Like 60% of all the characteristics in supply are just fucking used up by these dog shit monsters hiding in the darkness. So outside the City of Silver, it's just so hard to become a Beyonder because the characteristics are rare. If the City of Silver ever came out of the fog, bro, the prices of characteristics would just fucking plummet. Like, the economy would collapse. The grain merchant, who had a full beard, was equally happy because this was an unexpected harvest. Well, these farmers didn't go overboard. Other than the mushrooms, they only took a small portion of fruits on the tree. They left behind what was sufficient for the rangers of the forest to submit to their master. In just 2 or 3 hours, the farmers had sold a large amount of mushrooms and fruits. With gold pound in hand, they returned home. To them, everything that happened today was what they wanted to do. As equally, the grain merchant, who had a full beard, was equally happy because it was an unexpected harvest. He could make a lot of money. He led the workers with him to move large amounts of mushrooms and fruit to the processing point. As a meticulous businessman, he checked out the warehouse over and over. After setting the workers away, he confirmed there was no mistakes and locked the door. At this moment, he saw a thick wad of cash on the ground, all 10-pound notes. When did I drop so much money? The grain merchant bent down in joy to pick up the stack of notes. As he counted, he recalled the origins of the money, the profits from selling mushroom powder and dried mushrooms. How generous, the man thought. Inside the warehouse, Audrey, who was wearing a light blue dress, removed her psychological invisibility and took out a black pocket. This was the traveler's bag that she had rented from Gio. Following that, the blonde, simple-looking Audrey threw bags of food into the black pocket. After doing this, she used Limano's travel for teleportation. And what conspired here was manipulated by Audrey. She first gave the fast-growing mushrooms provided by Ma'am Hermit to the animals in the woods. With their help, she planted them. Following that, she influenced the farmers in the hamlets, making them overcome their fear of the law. And a grain merchant just happened to be passing by and discovered this. Dude, beware the audience, beware the spectator for real, bro. Oh my god. This is so cooked. This sort of manipulation of a person's heart was intoxicating, but Audrey didn't smile at all. It's still not enough. I'm lacking plenty. Not the audience. Yeah, I thought it'd be funny. The mushrooms she had obtained. The mushrooms she had obtained wasn't the type that the little son could absorb. Said could absorb the flesh and blood of monsters. They needed nutrients to grow fast. Therefore, there was no way to plant the second batch of mushrooms in the forest quickly. Staring at the empty cloth bags that had been emptied out, Audrey's green eyes flashed. She couldn't help but think a large amount of food is concentrated at the church, the royal family, the military, the government, and the nobles. How many times will I have to move them with only the traveler's bag? Manipulating the nobles, businessmen, and military is dangerous. I have to be careful. If the situation hadn't deteriorated to such a degree, I might have never known that some people would have to side with them. Audrey decided to seek Mr. World's advice. As the world had been walking alone in the uninhabited, forsaken land of the gods, he was surrounded by darkness and despair. Audrey suggested that he should seek her out for psychological counseling. Gehrman followed the doctor's advice, and from their chats, Audrey knew that apart from asking her for medical advice, this adventurer would gossip with Mr. Star above the great fog occasionally, to maintain a good state of mind. Oh my god. Crunchyroll, call it Nimble Right Master, and my soul is yours. Oh my god, please. Oh, please. Everyone's gonna be so ticked, but I'd be like, nah, guys, see, I told you from the beginning, that's what it was supposed to be. That's gonna be so good. Please. Okay, let's keep going. With this decision, Audrey immediately activated her traveling ability and returned home. But on second thought, she felt a little depressed. This was because she knew that even if she got a lot of food, it would only quell the residents for a time. War, Audrey thought. Sorry, I just read Ramiro's message. I was hit by 4 rage baiters all at once. His mind is like getting hit with the mad ravings of his lord, and he's like, oh god. Sequence 0 gesture gonna be real. He had heard from Herman that the nature of this war was very likely to be the Battle of Gods. And the prelude to the Battle of Gods was always very consistent, to spend a certain amount of time and strength to shake the anchors of their opponents. After some thought, Audrey pursed her lips and decided to start with what she could. As the notebook emitted a misty glow, her figure disappeared. Beside the burning bonfire, Klein, who had sent the guests from the Moon City away, couldn't help but recall the words of Amon. He said there were many clues of the past, but they were buried inside Chernobyl. ASG had also specifically emphasized Chernobyl. This wasn't considered rash, it was something he always wanted to do, but he didn't dare do so because of Amon. He wanted to go explore, but he knew he couldn't. I've been heading east for more than half a year. Who would have thought that I would suddenly arrive at Chernobyl? Amon has obtained the last worm of time characteristic and is preparing the ritual. It's impossible for his true body to still be in Chernobyl. He's a very patient King of Angel. Perhaps his avatar has been waiting at Chernobyl all this time. Klein decided to let a projection make an attempt. In any case, he would never head there directly. After making up his mind, Klein went above the grey fog to do a divination. He then returned to the real world and dragged out a version of himself from 5 minutes ago. As his main body disappeared, his projection gained consciousness. Following that, he grabbed a few times and took out the Staff of the Stars and teleported to Chernobyl. Bro, if Klein goes to Chernobyl and he can actually explore, we're gonna get so much. Dude, I keep thinking like, oh, this can't happen right now. And then I just keep coming to the realization that, dude, I am at the end game. I keep thinking like, oh, like this has to be like end game material. But it's like, no, homie, there is no more end game than where I am right now. This is it. Okay, right, Ramiro, you said go to 34, or sorry, 20, go to 24, not 34, definitely not. No, Justin. You don't understand. I am in the end game. Well, not really, Hope. There's more like 130 chapters left. Because I think 1350-ish is the end of Lord of the Mysteries, and then it's like side shit. Okay, give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm gonna go make some coffee, and then we'll finish out the last chapters, okay? Give me a second. Oh, Khaled, I wish, brother. I wish. Alright, let's go. Alright. Wilhelm, you don't know me like that, what the fuck? I don't know you like that, you're still new here, what? Okay. Jesus, unhinged, okay. When he held the Staff of the Stars, Klein pulled out a gold coin in thin air and flicked it. As the gold coin tumbled, a revelation appeared. It was an extremely deep ravine. At the bottom of it was a thick and vast building covered in layers of grayish-white. Every detail was restored to the Chernobyl Klein had seen at the beginning. Using the techniques of dream divination, he produced the image he had seen in his mind. At that moment, that scene was complete. The gems embedded in the Staff of the Stars emitted a glow. Klein vanished, and in a second, he returned to the easternmost front of the forsaken land of the gods, to Chernobyl. You are closer to the end than easy is to you? Damn. That's just how the cookie crumbles, brother. There was a time when easy was closer to the end than I was to him. No? But in fairness, he's reading like 6 things. I don't know. He's reading so much. This was one of the main powers of the Staff of the Stars, corresponding scene that surfaced in the mind of the wielder. If it still existed in the real world, the Staff of Star could allow them to cross all obstacles and distance and directly descend to that location. Of course, the prerequisite was that the outline scene had to be perfect. The reason why he had chosen the deep ravine where Chernobyl was and not the grayish-yellow fog was because he knew the youngest son of the Giant King, the god of glory Bladel, had long perished after being freed from his curse. The area would experience major changes, and the only thing that wasn't affected was Chernobyl and Amman. This also didn't mean that the deep ravine and the grayish-white building didn't have any changes. In fact, Klein had already prepped himself for the failures of this teleportation. After all, the person performing it was fake, and the item in hand was also fake. In midair, Klein saw the Staff of the Stars open in hand. He didn't have time to examine his surroundings when his body sank and plummeted downwards. He wasn't wearing creeping hunger, nor could he transform into an avian creature. He was unable to fly currently. Can't Klein transform into like a bird or something? Can't he transform into like a giant bird? Therefore, even though the demigods of the Seer Pathway were bizarre and terrifying, they were weirdly human. As his thoughts raced, a power appeared in his mind. Following that, the Staff of the Stars lit up, causing the scene to be filled with violent winds. Because he can transform into any animal as long as it's like no, Kami. But he said he can't if this... No, not the shape. The size is too different. So can't he just transform into like a giant-ass bird? I don't know. Like... The wind swirled around him, causing his black trench coat to flap and his body to slowly descend. During this process, Klein's right hand trembled, allowing the Staff of the Stars' historical projection to return to its normal senses. Tanab, how's it going, man? Aw, thanks, Pookie. You know how birds fly? Yes, I know how birds fly, Plague. Right on the heels of that, his left hand pressed down on his hat. Just as the lightning in the sky was about to pass, he pulled out a lantern from the historical void. Under the dim yellow light of the lantern, Klein firmly stepped on the ground beneath the deep ravine. The endless darkness around him seemed to contain monsters. He was standing in front of Chernobyl. Remembered he transformed into a bookmark? Yeah, exactly. He transformed into a pterodactyl. Exactly. Thank you, Justin. Someone's got imagination. Did we just find a plot hole in Lord of the Mysteries, Amnesiac? You and me? Oh my god. No one else gets it. Oh my god, we found a... Oh my god, I need to send an email to Cuttlefish. I need to let him know he fucked up. Let him know he needs to fix this in the third book, or this is cooked. It's over. With the synchronized effects of the lightning and lantern in hand, Klein discovered a solution. There was no door to this building. Oh, Klein discovered a situation. There was no door to this building. Everything in this place is sealed. I remember that ASG had opened an illusory crack in the grayish-white wall before coming out. Klein found a spot and began to chant the name of the fool. Yeah, but what the fuck would air bullets do to Amon, Khaled? Amon would just be like, oh, the trajectory actually had an error and it went straight fucking up. Or like, it went off to the left. How did that happen? Just an error in the matrix. Oh, fuck off. At the easternmost front of the Forsaken Land of the Gods, by the solidified fog by Moon City, Klein, who was using the historical void, entered Sephira Castle. He then used his true vision to scan Chernobyl. In the deep ravine and the desolate plains, there wasn't a single Amon present. As for Chernobyl itself, even with the true vision provided by Sephira Castle, it wasn't enough to see what was going on inside. He's saying Klein didn't use air bullets to insta-kill himself? Yeah, well, Amon would either steal the thought, he would steal the power, he would change the trajectory to make the bullet come out from like the back of his hand or something and go out. We're like, this man's fucking lunatic, bro. Underneath the layers of grayish-white, there appeared to be absolute nothingness. Indeed, it's not that simple. As expected, about the place where ASG walked out. Klein, who was standing outside Chernobyl, regained consciousness. He reached out his hand and took out Leimano's travel. He quickly flipped to one of the pages and prepared to use door opening. Such an action felt a little rash, but considering it was just a projection, there was no problem. The Beyonders of the Seer pathway are indeed cautious and reckless, careful when making preparations, but reckless after. After door opening repeatedly, he left the grayish-white building and... Klein silently passed through the obstacle and entered Chernobyl's interior. After door opening repeatedly, he finally left the grayish-white building and saw a heavy, ajar metal door in front of him. The metal door wasn't tall, only 2.5 meters tall, obviously prepared for humans. In front of him were 2 machine guns that were more sci-fi than any weapons belonging to this era. These 2 machine guns looked similar to the ones he had seen when he was flipping through magazines. However, he wasn't a fan of such things, so he couldn't be sure. Klein, the keyboard warrior, knows nothing of guns? What an amateur. Klein didn't pick them up or attempt to study them. His intuition told him that these firearm-like weapons were completely corroded. Any contact would just cause them to disintegrate. After taking a few looks, he dispelled Leimano's travel and passed through the pitch-black marks. So wait, Klein was able to pass through the pass into Chernobyl with just door opening. Couldn't he just try doing that with the gray fog then? It seems so simple. The tables and chairs inside were toppled. Some were fine and others broken. Looks like a research facility, Klein thought. There was no reason for him to search for anything. He quickly found a door and destroyed a machine. There was a few pieces of paper on the table with a yellow tint to them. It seemed like someone had casually placed it there. ASG or Amon? The dim light dispersed the darkness inside as he picked up the few pieces of paper and scanned them. 10 seconds later, Klein put down the paper. He didn't recognize anything on them. I barely passed English, let alone other languages. Klein suddenly felt the feelings of another Beyonder in this world when he read Roselle's diary. Oh, right, of course, because Chernobyl is in Ukraine, so they would either be speaking Russian or... So it would either be written in Russian or Ukrainian, so it's like in Cyrillic, and he has no fucking idea what he's reading. Oh, I see. Okay, yep. He slowly exhaled and extended his hand into the void and took out an item. This was a translating device that Zhou Mingru had bought before going on a trip overseas when he saved up for. When the luck enhancement ritual was held, it was inside a computer bag by his side. This is so cooked. You're kidding. To him, the greatest advantage of this device was that it could do offline translations. After fiddling, he understood what the pages wrote. This is so broken, bro. Oh my god, Klein is actually... He's cheating! Research of the appearance of oil in a dried up oil field. Why would they need a research facility in such an unimaginable place for such a thing? God, what did they discover deep in the oil field? Is this some amazing material? What happened? The doctor turned into a puddle of black oil in front of me. More and more people have turned into oil. Bro, if America found a fucking ability to convert people into oil, they would nuke an entire fucking continent just to be like, who says we are running out of oil? No time soon, I say. Oh god. More and more people have turned into soil, or turned into oil. This research facility has been sealed from the outside. No one can leave. They've all gone mad. We're still normal, but our food isn't running out. I seem to be hearing things. There seem to be sounds coming from the underground, summoning me. He is summoning me. These simple lines left a chill down Klein's spine, as though he was walking towards madness and death. America would be like, listen, if oil runs out, life as we know it comes to an end. Isn't it better for 1 billion people to sacrifice themselves for the rest of us to maintain our standard of living? Or should we all die in pursuit of living for everyone? It's like, wait, hold on, Trump, no, hold on. I mean, that obviously wouldn't be Trump because he couldn't put together that relatively coherent set of thoughts, even though it's fucking stupid. Like, he still couldn't come up with that, so it'd be like whoever his predecessor is. The cause of all this was the unnecessary experiments involved after the discovery of some strange materials in a dried up oil field. Then the world was destroyed, but if it was a disaster caused by the coincidence, perhaps there's no reason for me or Roselle and others to obtain items to help us transmigrate ahead of time. Perhaps there's been a chance amidst inevitability, and in chance there is inevitability? I don't even understand that. The underground corruption has always been influencing the human world in an unobvious manner, intermittently bringing about certain mysterious events. Only when the facility probed deep enough was he fully awakened. What? Who's he? Hurrah, we are pushing forward, baby, at a speed unprecedented. Oh, the last time humans were at this speed, we were heading to the fucking moon, baby. With lantern in hand, he left the room and headed towards the depths of the research facility. After walking for nearly a minute, his vision darkened. For more than half of the dim yellow light's radiance had been consumed. When he took a closer look ahead, he realized there were a cliff 2 steps away. That portion of the research facility had collapsed into the ground. It was dark and empty, with no end to it. Faintly, he heard a silent cry. It sounded in his mind from deep underground. This feeling was something Klein had experienced before. From behind the bronze door in the Hall of Truth. He frowned slightly as he took a step back, prepared to dispel the projection at any moment. This moment, a palm that was so dry that it only had skin and bones stuck out from the darkness, grabbing onto the edge of the cliff. A figure then leapt out and landed in front of him. None other than Angel of Time Amon. But this Amon's condition was abnormal. It was like a skeleton covered in a skin membrane. He adjusted his monocle and said, "Ah, visitor. I wasn't expecting that." "And you are..." Oh shit, monocle. Monocle. Wait, I'm not even wearing the fucking necklace today. Hold on, it's cooked. I think this is the first stream since I bought this fucking thing that I've done without wearing it. I just forgot about it altogether. Not good. Wait, are you telling me the one outside is like a corrupted version of Amon, and this is like real Amon or some bullshit? What? Kami, music change? Anything? Are you here? I don't even know. Ah, a visitor. I wasn't expecting that. And you are? Not now? Okay. Cool. 12:23. Two more. God. 2 more chapters. That level? What level? What? Yes, level 99. Klein becomes Sung Jin-woo. He devours the system for real. Who am I? Klein was just about to remove the historical void projection as he was taken aback, but he controlled himself and asked, "You aren't Amon's true body?" "Of course not." "You seem to know my true body, or my other avatars." In this chapter though, new music in Discord. Okay, we changed some of the sequence names and added content. Oh. Tommy, spoilers, bro, what? "You seem to know my true body and other avatars." Although the Amon in front of him didn't take action, the step he took still gave Klein an indescribable pressure. It wasn't easy for him to stay still. He grunted and replied in a low voice. "Santa, how's it going, man?" "Yeah, you are coming up at the end, but goddamn, this is a cool place." Okay. Yep. He grunted and replied, "That's why I'm curious as to why you don't know me. Are you that famous?" He then raised his right hand and adjusted his monocle. This action lasted for a few seconds before it came to an end. "There are no other me's nearby. Are there really none? Or has the connection just been severed? What kind of accident would cause this Amon to be independent? No way. I can't believe the way this fellow acts. He's a swindler." "Why did you crawl out from the underground?" Klein asked. Guess. Be it his actual body or his avatar, he has a terrible personality. "You were exploring the secrets that lay underground?" "Isn't that obvious?" Amon replied. He then half-turned his body and pointed to the darkness beyond the cliffs. "My father crawled out of here just as I did." "Right, it has a name. You should have heard of it. The Chaos Sea." So ASG came out of the Chaos Sea, and Klein came out of the Sephira Castle, kind of. Is the Chaos Sea one of the 9 Sephiroth castles? One of the 9 Sephiroth? It is indeed hidden underground. Is the corruption behind the bronze door brought about by it? Previously, I was made aware of this mysticism knowledge through my casual chats with Amon. Romero, it's okay, calm down. The ASG was originally a member of this research facility. He then fell deep into the Chaos Sea, only to awaken in the second epoch and crawl out. As he was an ordinary person back then, based on a law that proximity to the underground increases in danger with higher sequences, he wasn't affected too much. So you took the risk and jumped in to search for the truth of the buried history in the world? Something like that. But I didn't do it willingly, Amon said. Huh? Every single one of me knows that it's dangerous deep underground. We don't want to go down alone. We tried many detours, including a marionette to replace us, but we failed to succeed and get any feedback. In the end, under my true body's watch, we held a fair vote. Unfortunately, I lost. It's a miracle Amon hasn't gone insane yet, as expected of the god of mischief. And then you jumped down yourself? Klein asked. What else? Let them throw me down? Having said that, he seemed to finally understand something as he muttered to himself. The Chaos Sea made me sever ties with my main body and my avatars? Am I independent? Independent. Previously, in front of the bronze door of the Hall of Truth, I felt that every cell, every worm of spirit was giving birth to a new consciousness, generating a new form of self. It's very normal for there to be similar changes in Amon's avatar after entering the Chaos Sea. An independent Amon avatar should be able to trick Amon's true body, but I can't trust him. He smiled and said, I suspect you're still bluffing. It doesn't matter whether you believe me or not. Even if I wanted to find a partner, it wouldn't be as someone as weak as you. What did you discover in the Chaos Sea? Klein decided not to trust this independent Amon in front of him. Plenty of things. Guess what they are. You didn't discover anything. The other mates probably think so too. Besides, I haven't been out for very long, and I didn't respond. It's logical to believe that I have already been corroded and was digested by the Chaos Sea. Without waiting for Klein's response, Amon continued, the Chaos Sea is very large. It almost fills the core, and goes even further. It's also the only Sephira that merges the real and the illusory, and has an entrance in the real world. The others are either completely illusory and hidden somewhere unknown, or they're definitely real while existing in the real world. I found something very interesting inside. The first blasphemy slate was likely born there, but it was later attracted by some power and left the underground before it was complete. My father might have browsed that blasphemy slate in the beginning, which is why he condensed the second blasphemy slate, which is why he condensed into the second blasphemy slate when he perished. So the first blasphemy slate came from the original creator, and having read all of it and digesting the information, that became like a part of his soul for ASG, and then when he died, his body became the second blasphemy slate. So if someone read all of the second blasphemy slate and understood it and whatever, and they died, they would probably make like a third blasphemy slate or something. Oh, the blood chickens. Ow, this still hurts my nose so bad. Let me add this to my notes really quickly. Maybe, maybe not. My father, nope, already read that. This is the origins of the second blasphemy slates. It's no wonder the ancient sun god was so powerful in the late stages of his life. What's so different about the two blasphemy slates? The second blasphemy slate changed some of the sequence names and added some content. Okay, new music. Slate added content? What the those contents contain secrets about transcending sequences. Super god! Super fucking god! Okay, hold on. Transcending sequences? Become the creator? Fine asked. More or less, but the description isn't accurate enough. I like to refer to them as above the sequences. Oh, that is so much better than Super God. How long have I had this theory? I'm a fucking prophet. I am a fucking prophet. Oh my god. Oh, that's so good. Okay, above the sequences is way better than Super God. Oh god, I've had this theory since probably like volume 2? 3? I don't know. I've had this for so long. Oh, I'm so goated. There are also a number of true deities who name it in other ways. Some call it Great Old Ones, others refer to it as Outer Deities or Cosmos. So when they say beware the cosmos, they just mean like beware some above the sequences that are out there. They're like, oh, they don't mean the literal, they don't mean like, oh, beware of like the going outside the world or whatever. They just mean like, oh, when you go, the cosmos are like above the sequence. Every time you divined it, the result was correct. My divinations are truly goated. Oh god. Okay. Dr. Z, actually, what a time to come back. That was like perfect timing. Hold on, I just gotta add that to my notes too. Okay, let's go. Cosmos. The moment Klein heard the term, his spiritual intuition told him, began to give him crazy warnings. He remembered very clearly that the ascetic leader, Ariana, had told him that before he became an angel, he shouldn't attempt to understand the cosmos, or just having knowledge of it would bring him great danger. Oh, he's so cooked! Without any hesitation, Klein, who had been standing in the historical void in a time before the first epoch, gave up the projection. He stood up from the stacked cities of old and went above the grey fog. Imagine our reactions when he had Dude, I was cooking so hard. Dude, how did I... Bro, back then? I'm so goated, what? At the same time, the violent lightning that streaked across the forsaken land of the gods calmed down, and a gigantic crimson moon covered half the sky. Are they seeing? Why is the moon here? The light on the surface of the moon stretched out as if it was alive. Outside this world, the moon that was revolving around the earth had a crimson sea flowing, drowning everything, as though it was digesting this huge natural satellite. The blood-colored sea boiled when Klein learned of the news of the great old ones, or outer deities, and cosmos. They quickly gathered towards the middle, constantly piling together until they formed an indescribable, blood-red phantom image. Are you not entertained? What? This phantom image was many times bigger than the moon. It had countless eyes, and it looked down at the blue planet. It cast its gaze at Klein's main body, through the connection that was established the moment he learned of these matters. Stop this chapter? Okay. No worries. This phantom image was many times... No, already read that. As the crimson sea receded, many craters appeared on the surface of the moon. From the ground, the moon, no longer crimson, it was bright and clear. It had remained the same despite hundreds of millions of years. What? So the crimson receded for a moment? Further out in the sky, the brown star, the orange star, the scarlet planet, the golden planet, and the blue planet twinkled like blinks of an eye. In the fog of history, the boils began to emerge on the surface of Klein's body. Each boil had mutated a worm of spirit. They were the faces of Joe Mingru, Klein Moretti, Gehrman Sparrow, and Dwayne Dantes, each trying to drill out of his body. Klein's thoughts quickly turned chaotic. His entire spirit body seemed to be torn apart by an invisible blade. But he still forced himself to finish reciting the last sentence of the incantation, the celestial worthy of heaven and earth for blessing. Silently, Klein tore through the grey fog and entered Sephira Castle. The power of the entire space began to boil as it surged forward and enveloped him, melting away the wisps of black gas, streams of red light, and boils, severing the connection. 10 seconds later, as Klein struggled, he finally regained consciousness and stood up, using the high-back chair as support. Inside Chernobyl, Amon, who was standing at the edge of the cliff, said to him in a low voice as he adjusted his reaction. Quite a fast reaction. If Klein had been a second slower and embroiled in that chaotic state, Amon could deceive the connection between the historical projection and the actual body before Klein could remove the maintenance of the historical void projection. He could then appear inside the corresponding historical fragment. So wait, that Amon wasn't actually, so that Amon wasn't thing at all. That Amon wasn't like cut off or whatever. It was like a fucking lie. Amon was just trying to get him to, he was just trying to tell him some shit so he would just insta die. I was like, ah, damn. He got away. Above the grey fog, Klein sat down. That Amon was lying. He should be the avatar that stayed behind to guard Chernobyl. When he discovered I came, he hid somewhere between the cliffs and the Chaos Sea, pretending he had just crawled out. He was unable to deal with my main body by bypassing the historical projection. Furthermore, he might not even have the strength of a Sequence 2 angel. Therefore, he pretended to be an independent avatar to carry out deceit. On the surface, he attempted to make me believe that he was an independent avatar and could be cooperated with. But in fact, he concealed the danger in his words. Even in a normal conversation, one can get scammed. However, in order to achieve his goal, he'd also given a certain amount of secrets. Why not a single fan wants to transmigrate into Lord of the Mysteries? Nah, just go to Sephira Castle. As soon as you get in, you go to Sephira Castle. You'll be okay. Just lock in, guys. Lock in. Believe in yourself. Oh god. The moment he learned that, oh god, you have lost your immunity. Now that you know about the Cosmos, you would have less than a second to live. Nah, let me cook. I could do it. Nah, I'd lose. Kami, Ramirez said this is a good place to end. You can't enter Sephira Castle anymore? It has an owner? No, I just kicked Klein out, it's fine. Eviction notice, for real. You guys are actually, I don't know why you guys are taking me up on my rage bait, but it's hilarious to me. No. Oh my god. Okay, alright, alright, let's do artwork now. I think we'll end it there. Let's do artwork. How does it feel to be a goat? Dude, oh my god, that was so good. Thoughts on above this, dude. I can't, I mean, okay, my theory was bad because of the name, okay? I take like full 10 out of 10 credit for my theory because it was perfect, but the name, Super God, was so horrendously bad compared to Above the Sequence. That's so obvious, but also so much better. One more. Now you know why we say the moment we arrive, we will beg the true creator save us. He's the only God who cares. Orthodox deities will say, fuck off, you mortal. Knows more than you should. We went crazy when he said super. Okay, fuck you, Bug, okay? You want chapter ranges for the rest? Yeah, Luvian, if you get time later, if you wouldn't mind, that'd be fantastic. But now we'll end it there. We'll end it there. Let's do artwork and then we'll call it. Bro, Ya is on some shit, bro. What? No, which Above the Sequence is the best? Man, that name just sounds so cool. I'm still stuck on Above the Sequence. Hold on. The moon? No. Dude, I have to imagine that the Above the Sequence for the Seer pathway has got to be a fucking goat. That's got to be some goated, woaded motherfucker. Great Old One is better? So wait, it's Above the Sequence, Great Old One, or the Cosmos? Is that it? Great Old Ones, Outer Dude, Outer Deities is cool as fuck. So like deities are like regular ones, and then outer deities are like planets or celestial objects, like the moon, Jupiter, Saturn, whatever. Great Old Ones makes it. Oh, wait. So what? Oh, so that angel from this from the Abraham family probably went out like to the moon or whatever, learned some shit he shouldn't have, came back home, was like, "Oh, I'm safe, I'm safe." Went to bed, and then and then the moon probably was like, "Bitch, fuck you thought this was," and he just insta died in his sleep. And so he got probably corrupted with like a slightest bit of power of above the sequence of that, of like the moon or whatever. And then that's Box of the Great Old Ones. By the way, Lord of the Mysteries fans shortened Great Old Ones to goo. What the fuck? Goo. Milos, I can open this now. Oh, okay, open after 12:23. It's fine. Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh my god. That's so beautiful. He's a fucking... Yeah, but he was like a weak angel, you know? We do not condone weakness in this circle. Fuck him. If he died, it was his own fault. Get shit on, loser. Bro, when the Donghua spoiled sequence 0 and some reach right. Sequence is negative. Yeah, that is true. But that is true. Even I didn't get it even I didn't get it in volume 1. I think I got it in 2. I think I started connecting because it was like I think I started connecting a little bit after I realized that there were interchangeable pathways, because I was like, why the fuck would they be interchangeable? It doesn't make any sense. This is this actually just looks like that's just North America. That's South America, but South America's moved a lot further south. Like there's no land bridge here. That Sonia Island is Greenland. About to be the 51st state, by the way. Forsaken Land of the Gods is North Africa, Africa, I guess? Also, the primordial moon makes sense now. All of humanity when the moon suddenly became white. Dude, yeah, why is the moon just red for no fucking reason? Africa moved west? I mean, a little bit. I don't think so. I think South America just moved a little south and a little east. So it looks like Africa moved west. Then what's over here, bro? What happened to... Why is, like, Asia so fucking hidden? What is this? Great fuck. Oh my god, that's beautiful. Wow, Libsyn? Damn, that's beautiful. This is good. This is a place for dragons, because they just need like big places to like stand on. Thoughts on volume 6? Dude, this is the best volume. Actually, we got Chernobyl and that's done. It's insta done. We still have like 30 chapters to go or whatever. 40 maybe? I don't know. Oh my god, that was so good. That map, not official fan made. Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, them. He's like, let me tell you the word of my lord. You have not heard of the great Mr. Fool. It appears I shall be the one to bring you into the fold of the light of the great Savior. And some... Oh my god, that is beautiful. This could be the new background also. This is nice. This is beautiful. Replace this with that maybe? But this might also seem too busy, I don't know. Just got in again. Quantum, we just got the reveal of the above the sequence. Fuck, sorry. It's I've been stuck on Super God for so long, it's gonna take me a little bit to get used to that. Okay, hold on. So, let me see if I can get all of them, okay? Amon, Adam, Ouroboros, Sasrir, Medici. Fuck, what is this motherfucker's name? I can't... what is... This is EBS, of course. Leodero and... What's his name? Fuck, I forgot these two names. Herabergen, I think, is this one? Occasus. Okay, perfect. Okay, Occasus and Herabergen. say it and you burn to ash, get fucked. I'm still here. Heisenberg. Here's a chance. This is so cute. Hera Berrigan looks so busy. These are adorable. By the way, I just realized, the name Medici kept sounding... I did not say Hera Berrigan. You're fucking lying. I said Hera Berrigan. You're fucking lying, okay? I realized, I kept thinking, like, dude, the name Medici sounds so familiar to me, and I couldn't figure it out. Medici was an old, I think, Italian bank family. I was like, dude, I know this name, and I couldn't remember it. I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, it finally clicked for me yesterday when I was about to go to sleep. Which do I wear today? He only wears the stars on really special days, you know? Like, he's probably going to be wearing the star on the day that he's supposed to become a god. Leodora looks misogynistic. What do you mean? Jan the Goat Copman. Weak bitch. No, not many people are going to get that reference, but, you know, the big families from history. Yeah. Damn, those... Justice, Hangman, the Sun, the World, the Magician, the Moon, the Hermit, the Star, Judgment. The Jan Cotman art? Wait, really? That wasn't official? I mean, he did seem really... Oh, just the expression changed. That looks so official. Oh, no, I see it. But he does look fucking... Oh my god, that guy looks like he's kind of buff as fuck. I'm pretty sure... Oh, wow, that is also beautiful. Does that say, like, Chernobyl or something? I think that says Chernobyl, probably, in Lone or something. Absolute aura, dude, that looks so good. I don't know who made this art, but fuck yeah, that's awesome. Oh, hello, good sir. May I tell you about some interesting details that I'm sure you would love to know? It may or may not get you killed, but do not worry about it. I'm here to protect. Oh, it's just in Russian, I see, okay. Like, oh, can I interest you in some knowledge? Let me drop some hot fucking knowledge on you. Fucking guy. Oh, Susie, this is so cute. This is so cute. But she's too big for Audrey to be picking her up. Audrey couldn't pick up Susie. She's too big. 2 cups. What is this? Who are these people? Another fan map? Okay. So, this is so good. Okay, so North America again. South America, really far south, a little east. Elf Queen and Alger. Oh, I see. Okay. Greenland, Asia, the Forsaken Land of the Gods, and then Western Continent, which is, I don't know, whatever. So like east edge of Asia, west of the Americas. Okay, cool. Very cool. Very spaced out. I like this map better. Although I can't read any of it because it's in freaking Chinese, Mandarin. Sharon and Merrick. Don't know why he's in the JoJo. Bro. Damn, look at... My god, that was such a vascular fella. What the... Are those cigarettes in his mouth? What the fuck is happening? What is this? Is he smoking 2 cigarettes at a time? What is happening here? Oh, this is so cute. Cat Leo. I assume that's Bernadette. My goat Merrick, they did him right. Actually did. 2 cigs based. Have you seen? Wait, hold on. I don't know why this is why this is in such bad quality, but it'll have to do like this. I don't know. Look at this. This is a guy from Transylvania in '96. Okay. I don't know if it was 8. I thought it was like 150 or something, but it might, I don't know, it might be 800. Just speed running lung cancer. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? Oh god. Oh, Merrick. I cast cancer. Oh god. Oh, that was so funny. Fuck. Shit, Merrick still has to get to his level, you know? Oh, this is cute. Oh, old Neo. Ah. AoE cancer. Everyone gets cancer. Sheer amount of secondhand smoke. Smoker from One Piece. Well, yeah, but Smoker doesn't count. He's made of smoke. Cancer can't get him. Can survive. I think the cancer can survive. I think so, true stranger. I think so too. I feel like he could go there and they would cast him with madness and he'd go, is that all you've got, you fucking losers? Chaos C. Pushkar, I think so, but only if he would challenge Goku, like, hey Goku, you've trained so long, but have you trained your lungs? And Goku would go, yeah, of course, I have a great lung capacity. And go, okay, let's see who can smoke for longer, bro. And then he'd beat him. I think that could work. This is so cute. Where are these little figurines for sale in North America, or is it just for the Chinese market? All right, Luvian, thanks for coming by, man. Appreciate you, buddy. Bye. No, Arter, no night stream, but then from tomorrow we'll be back to like morning streams. So we'll do a stream about this time tomorrow. Maybe a little hour ahead or something, but somewhere around this time. Blind Moretti, so cute. The future. What to Kami? Kami onto the regular shit, no problem. The chain smoker who loves smoking so much. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, I'm sorry. My grandpa's dream is crazy. One of my favorite YouTubers did that sick thing. Stop. This is so cool, dude. I assume this is like kind of Legos, or does this come made? No night stream, Romero. We'll just do morning streams for now. I mean, like, yeah, cause we can do morning streams and then we'll probably just be done soon. So there's no point to shorten it even further by doing night streams at that point. We'll just be done. Who was forced to read Lord of the Mysteries? Alright guys, I think we'll yeah, I know he changed it, little fucker. Alright guys, we'll end the stream there. Thank you. I can never attend morning streams? Oh, fuck's sake. Can't buy the ship, but they work with the models you can glue together. I see. Thank you everyone for coming so much. Have a great rest of your day or nights. If you guys are new here, consider joining our Discord, link in the description. And special thank you to all my members. Love you guys. And by the way, if anyone has any ideas for one more emoji, because we can add one more for members, let me know. That's it. I'll end it there. Thank you everyone. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Bye guys.